The betrayal did not arrive with noise. It's part of time, the kind that settles into a room and makes everything feel heavier than it should. Ethan Hale noticed it first in the way the office felt wrong. Phones rang, keyboards clicked, but no one looked at him. Conversations stopped when he passed. Smiles felt forced. He had built this place with his own hands, yet that morning it felt like he was visiting a stranger's life. Ethan had always believed trust was the strongest currency. When he and Marcus Reed started the company 10 years earlier, they had nothing but ideas and long nights. They worked from a garage with cracked walls and flickering lights. They shared cheap meals, shared failures, shared hope. Marcus handled deals and people. Ethan built systems and strategy. It worked because they believed in each other. Or at least Ethan did. That belief began to crack weeks before the betrayal was confirmed. Meetings were held without him. Decisions were announced, not discussed. Marcus spoke with confidence, but his eyes avoided Ethan's. Every instinct told Ethan something was wrong, yet he ignored it. Loyalty has a way of blinding people. Ethan told himself stress caused distance, growth caused change. He trusted the past more than the present. The truth revealed itself through a simple mistake. An email appeared on Ethan's screen, clearly not meant for him. It carried legal language and calm certainty. Ownership transfers, restructured authority, final approvals. His name was mentioned once, only to be removed. Ethan read it twice. Then again, his hands did not shake. His heart did not race. Instead, a strange stillness took over. The kind that comes when the mind understands something before the emotions can catch up. He opened more files. He checked records. Numbers confirmed what the email suggested. Funds moved quietly. Contracts signed months ago. All legal. All deliberate. By the time Ethan stood up from his desk, the company no longer belonged to him. He walked straight to Marcus's office. The door was closed, but not locked. Marcus looked up, surprised, then relaxed when he saw Ethan. That calm hurt more than anger would have. Ethan placed the printed email on the desk. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't accuse. He simply asked why. Marcus leaned back in his chair, sighed like a man tired of explaining obvious things. He spoke about growth, about risk, about leadership. He said Ethan had become hesitant, too careful, too emotional. He said someone had to make decisions without fear. Someone had to act. "You were holding us back," Marcus said, not cruelly, but firmly. "I did what needed to be done." The words cut deep because Marcus believed them. Ethan searched Marcus's face for regret. He found none, only justification. In Marcus's mind, betrayal was strategy. Loyalty was optional. Success mattered. More than friendship, Ethan left without another word. The walk to his car felt unreal. The city moved as it always did. Traffic flowed. People laughed. None of them knew his world had just collapsed. None of them cared. By the time he reached home, the sun had set, and the house greeted him with familiar quiet, a quiet that now felt cruel. He sat alone in the dark, replaying every moment of the past 10 years, every handshake, every promise. Every night spent believing they were building something together. The realization settled slowly and painfully. Marcus had been planning this for a long time. The signs were there. Ethan simply chose not to see them. Anger came late. It rose not as fire, but as ice. Cold, sharp, controlled. Ethan felt humiliated. Not just robbed, but erased. His work, his ideas, his sacrifices were now wearing another man's name. Marcus hadn't just taken the company. He had rewritten the story. That night, Ethan didn't sleep. He paced the house, thoughts moving faster than his feet. Revenge crept in quietly, disguised as fairness. He told himself Marcus deserved consequences. That truth should matter. That silence would make him weak. But beneath those thoughts was something darker. a desire to make Marcus feel what he felt now, small, exposed, replaceable. Morning arrived without comfort. Ethan returned to the office, one last time to clear his personal things. No one stopped him. No one explained. The betrayal had already been normalized. His presence was inconvenient, not shocking. As he packed, he realized something important. Marcus hadn't just taken advantage of legal gaps. He had taken advantage of Ethan's trust. And trust, once broken, changes a person forever. Ethan left the building carrying a small box and a much heavier truth. This was not a misunderstanding. This was a choice. And choices demanded answers. The desire for revenge did not make Ethan reckless. It made him focused. He didn't shout. He didn't threaten. He observed. He listened. He remembered. Every move Marcus made now had context. Every confident smile carried guilt beneath it. Ethan told himself this was only the beginning. He didn't know how yet. He didn't know when. But he knew one thing with certainty. What Marcus had done would not remain hidden. Silence would not be the final chapter. The quiet house waited for him again that night, but this time it felt different. It felt like the calm before a storm. The anger did not explode. It settled in Ethan's chest like a steady weight, pressing down with every breath. Days passed, then weeks, and the world kept moving as if nothing had happened. Marcus appeared in business news, smiling, confident, praised for bold leadership. Each image felt like a quiet insult. Ethan watched from a distance, learning to control his reactions. Rage would make mistakes. Patience would create opportunity. Ethan changed his routine. He woke early, ran until his thoughts grew quiet, then spent hours reading documents he once trusted without question: contracts, timelines, transaction records. He wasn't looking for chaos, he was looking for truth. The more he read, the clearer. The pattern became: Marcus hadn't acted alone. He had planned carefully, trusting that Ethan would never check behind him. That trust had been his shield. At night, doubt crept in. Ethan asked himself hard questions. Was Marcus entirely wrong? Had he slowed things down? Had fear disguised itself as caution? These thoughts hurt because they held pieces of truth. Ethan understood now how Marcus justified everything. To Marcus, winning proved morality. Success erased guilt. That belief gave him peace. Ethan had none. The desire for revenge grew stronger when Marcus tried to reach out. Short messages, polite words. He spoke as if time would soften the betrayal. He suggested moving on, starting something new, acting like equals again. Ethan read each message and felt a deeper cut.
All right.
Marcus wanted forgiveness without consequence, closure without truth. Ethan never replied. Instead, he observed. He attended public events anonymously, watching Marcus speak with passion about vision and trust. The audience applauded. They believed him. That belief burned. Ethan knew the cost of that confidence. He also knew how fragile it was. The plan did not arrive all at once, formed slowly, shaped by restraint. Ethan mapped every possible move, then questioned each one. Would exposure heal him or trap him? Would public destruction bring relief or deepen the wound? Every option carried weight. Some nights he imagined the moment of revenge, standing up, speaking calmly, watching faces change as truth spilled into the open. The image brought satisfaction, followed immediately by emptiness. He saw himself afterward, still angry, still restless, only now known as a man defined by betrayal. That fear mattered. Ethan wasn't driven by money. He was driven by meaning. He wanted justice, not noise. The difference became clear as he continued digging. He found proof that could dismantle Marcus publicly, but also evidence that could be used quietly. The quiet path would hurt less people. The loud path would satisfy pride. Pride argued often. Friends noticed Ethan pulling away. He canceled meetings, declined invitations. When asked how he was doing, he answered simply, "Fine." It wasn't a lie, it wasn't the truth. He was something in between, focused, torn, awake at night, asleep during the day. Revenge reshaped his thoughts. He began measuring people. By loyalty, he questioned motives, he tested trust. The betrayal had taught him to see danger everywhere. That awareness felt powerful, but also exhausting. One evening, Ethan met an old mentor for coffee. They spoke about failure, about ambition, about the cost of building something meaningful. The mentor listened more than he spoke. Before leaving, he said one sentence that stayed with Ethan. "Be careful what you make your purpose." Some victories never let you go. Ethan understood the warning. Revenge demanded attention forever. It didn't end. It repeated. Still, the pull remained. Marcus continued rising. Investors followed. The company expanded. Each success added pressure to Ethan's silence. The world rewarded the betrayal. That injustice felt unbearable. Ethan felt invisible, like a footnote erased from history. Late one night, surrounded by documents, Ethan faced himself honestly. He admitted what he wanted. He wanted Marcus to feel fear, to feel exposed, to lose control. Ethan wanted balance restored, even if it meant burning what remained of their past. But he also admitted what he feared, becoming like Marcus, justifying harm because it felt deserved. The plan reached its final shape then, not rushed, not reckless. Measured, Ethan would act, but not in anger. He would let truth work on its own terms. He would choose the path that ended the cycle, not extended it. Still, the decision felt heavy. On the eve of the company's biggest public announcement, Ethan stood by his window and watched the city lights. Somewhere in those towers, Marcus prepared his speech. Confident, unaware, the moment was near. Ethan closed his laptop, evidence inside, and breathed deeply. The conflict inside him was louder than ever. Revenge promised relief. Restraint promised peace. Only one could be chosen. He knew the next step would define him more than the betrayal ever did. The storm was no longer outside. It was within. The conference hall buzzed with energy long before Marcus stepped onto the stage. Bright lights, soft music, rows of confident faces waiting for inspiration. Ethan sat near the back, unnoticed, dressed simply, his posture calm. Inside his bag rested everything needed to end this story one way or another. Proof, truth, power. His heart beat steady, not fast. It already lived through the worst part. Moment was only a choice. Marcus appeared to loud applause. He looked polished, sure of himself, every movement practiced. He spoke about growth, vision, and courage. Kay praised teamwork and trust. Each word landed like a quiet insult. Yet Ethan felt no sudden anger. He felt distance. As if he were watching a stranger perform a role too long rehearsed. As Marcus talked, Ethan studied him closely. He noticed small cracks others missed. The brief pause before certain sentences. It's a tight grip on the podium. It's a careful way Marcus avoided specifics when speaking about ownership. Confidence, yes, but also fear. Marcus had built everything on control, and control demanded constant defense. The screen behind Marcus displayed numbers and promises. The crowd leaned forward. This was the moment Marcus had been working toward, the moment Ethan could take away. Ethan reached into his bag and touched the folder. His fingers hesitated. Imagine standing up, walking forward, speaking clearly. Into the microphone, he imagined the room turning silent. Faces shifting from admiration to shock. He imagined Marcus freezing, exposed, stripped of certainty. The image was sharp and tempting. It promised balance. It promised satisfaction. But another image followed. He saw the aftermath, headlines, whispers, a victory that tied his name forever to betrayal and revenge. He saw himself waking months later, still replaying the moment, still bound to Marcus through anger. Revenge would not erase the past, would keep it alive. Marcus continued speaking, now smiling wider, confident the future was secure. Ethan realized something important then. Marcus's punishment was already underway. He would spend his life defending what he took, fearing exposure, justifying his choices again and again. That was his prison. Ethan stood. Not toward the stage, but toward the exit. Each step felt heavy, then lighter. The applause behind him faded as the doors closed. The air outside felt cooler, clearer. For the first time in months, Ethan breathed. Fully. He did not disappear. He did not surrender. In the weeks that followed, Ethan acted quietly. He filed claims where they mattered. He reclaimed part of what was taken, not through spectacle, but through structure. Marcus noticed. Tension replaced confidence. Lawyers replaced smiles. The company survived, but something changed. Trust weakened. Partners questioned. Growth slowed. Marcus kept his position, but not his peace. Ethan moved on. He started small again. New ideas, new rules. This time, he built alone, careful but not afraid. The lessons stayed with him, but they no longer controlled him. He learned too. Trust slowly, not blindly. To lead without losing himself. Some nights, the memory returned. The conference, the choice. He wondered how different life would look if he had chosen revenge. The thought no longer hurt. It felt distant, like a road not taken. Ethan understood now that revenge offers a loud ending, but rarely a clean one. Walking away had been quiet, almost invisible, but it gave him something far more valuable: freedom. Marcus remained part of his past, not his future. And in that separation, Ethan found something stronger than victory. He found peace earned by restraint, not destruction.